What the gurus don't want their followers to know. There's a consistency in the tragic tales told by former followers of yogis, whether Yogi Bhajan, Maharaji, Baba Muktananda, Swami Satchidananda, or any other. The internet is filled with such reports. The very consistency of these independent testimonies argues powerfully for the truthfulness of the witnesses and points to the fact that yoga itself, of any shade or variety, is the main culprit. It is the cause of the lies, hypocrisy, evil, and cover-ups that characterize, at some deeper level, all of the gurus who have brought enlightenment to the West through yoga. The following account is but an echo of thousands of others. Quote, I was an 18-year-old hippie when I moved into a Yogi Bhajan ashram looking for a magic that would make my life pure and heal my damaged spirit. There are three main tests to a human being's integrity. Will you sell your soul for stuff, for sex or love, for power? Like most humans, Yogi Bhajan was way deep into all three. Like most cult leaders, however, power was his favorite high, and it was power that really scratched Yogi Bhajan's itch. He never took a student that he didn't feel he could control. Of course, he miscalculated because many of us would eventually prove uncontrollable, but for 20 years he manipulated our psyches quite masterfully, a really awesome con man and magician. That is what I learned during the 20 years that I lived in a cult, which was the Happy, Holy, Healthy Organization, or 3HO. Most of us emerged from the 60s hippie culture with the love of the philosophy and mysticism of India running in our veins. We all wanted to learn how to meditate, and we wanted to get liberated, and we were completely clueless as to how to go about that, so we prayed a lot, and we relied on Yogi Bhajan to guide us. At times, we got very, very high, stoned on yoga, devotion, chanting, and vegetarianism. The most titillating and shocking truths concerning my ex-spiritual teacher involve his harem, a harem that most of his students, of course, didn't know he was keeping. After I left the cult, I saw that we had slavishly committed to and trusted in a gigolo charlatan and maintained an almost unbelievable level of denial. Yogi Bhajan was a master of tantric, or sexual, yoga. Within the tantric tradition of India and Tibet, sexual energy is spiritual energy. Yogi Bhajan's greatest challenge was not only to seduce supposedly spiritually committed women into his bed, but to keep them quiet about it for over 20 years. 2 of his former secretaries actually slapped him with a sexual misconduct suit after leaving the cult. The case was settled out of court, and the women walked away a bit richer. We students still in the cult were told that these women were psychotic and that the case had been thrown out of court by the judge because it was completely ludicrous. Yogi Bhajan gave us a taste of God in the form of various spiritual peak experiences and made us feel safe, loved, and secure. Within the context of the cult, any attempt to point out that the emperor was, in fact, doing a nude floor show behind our backs simply would not have been and was not believed. To risk even considering such a possibility was to invite shame and cynicism to come crashing into our lives, negating all the magic and hope that we had. End of quote. A taste of God and spiritual peak experiences through a really awesome con man and magician? In spite of the raw evil that this former disciple discovered was emanating from Yogi Bhajan, she still remains under the power of the serpent. What God or spirituality could a con man offer except the deadly delusion of a satanic lie?